This is the Action Sports Jax Jaguars Preview Special, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, the Jags will play in a lot of Taj Mahal type of stadiums this season. This one is not that. FedEx Field, home of the Washington Commanders, 5 miles outside of Washington, D.C. Largest stadium in the NFL a decade ago when it sat over 90,000 for capacity. Now it's about 67,000 for football games. Here in Jacksonville will be another week before the Jags play host to a regular season game inside the bank. It was a new makeover this offseason. Once again, new coach, new players, new hope, and we've got new facilities coming on the practice fields in 2023. Good evening and welcome to this NFL preview special. Brent Martineau will be joined by the entire Action Sports Jax team momentarily. A 1 hour look at this upcoming NFL season that is already underway and a long look at your Jacksonville Jaguars. Season opening weekend, a good start would go a long way for this football team and could be another step in erasing the misery of a season ago. As always, a lot of storylines coming off a long season, and let's take a look at some of them. An unlikely partnership took 6 weeks to make official. General Manager Trent Bockey surviving the Urban Meyer debacle, and Doug Peterson back in the NFL after a year off as the new head coach of the Jaguars. 6 months later, it looks to be a good relationship, and they've assembled a team that looks better than it's been and has given the franchise some much-needed optimism. Even after a tough rookie year, 12 touchdowns and 17 interceptions, there is still a lot of confidence in Trevor Lawrence, last year's #1 overall pick. Even the national folks think this will be a better year for Trevor, and there's no doubt in the building that Lawrence is everything that everybody thinks he can be. It's still Trevor's town in 2022. And now it's Trayvon's town, too. This year's #1 overall pick, a part of a revamped Jags defense. New defensive coordinator Mike Caldwell should be excited about the parts the Jags have assembled. A brand new linebacking core, a trio of good corners, some more beef up front to stop the run. What will it look like on the field all at once in a real game? We're about to find out. They showed some real promise in practice and in the games last month. We are the opposite of the Jags. We have a lot of continuity on our team, but we have some new ideas and ways to tell the Jags story of 2022. Stuart, Marcel, Olivia, part of tonight's special preview show. And so is Dan Hicken, who will be here in a moment. The schedule makers have given the Jags a chance to get off to a nice start, Dan, and that is a good thing, right?
Yeah, opening at Washington on Sunday is exciting. The Commanders, not considered to be an above-average team in the league. They have their goals, too. They do have some dangerous playmakers and a defensive front that could be a problem. Carson Wentz, oh, we know that name, right? He's now the quarterback, and the Jags beat him and Indy in the season finale last year. Week 1, you can't predict it, right, Brent? It's next to impossible. Jags at Commanders, kind of a toss-up on Sunday.
I mean, a win, obviously, that's the plan, that's the goal, and we feel great about, like I said, our game plan and how we prepared ourselves. But there's no thought of if we lose this game, all the work we've done is gone. That's not how it works either.
Yeah, it's going to be intense. It's going to be a battle. So I look at it as like, a version of war. You're going out there and. I mean, to me, I know it's not life or death. That's a little exaggerated, but in some ways it is. And so for me, that's the mentality I go in with.
All right, 1 o'clock kick on Fox 30 on Sunday. Two proven coaches, Ron Rivera for Washington and Doug Peterson for the Jaguars. And by the way, Rivera's had to deal with a mess in D.C. for a lot of years. Peterson might be the perfect coach at the right time for this organization and locker room. Let's take a look at the Doug Peterson timeline. I got to turn all the way around here on the wall that says it all, but all the way back to Northeast Louisiana, undrafted.
That was a little blurry, by the way. It must be a long time ago.
That wasn't that long ago, Dan. I mean, I was like 14 then. And then a 13-year career as a backup QB, but he backed up some really good players, right? Marino and Favre along the way, Dan. And then his coaching career began.
Well, he paid his dues as a high school head coach. And, he did that for a few years. It wasn't just like I want to, and then he said, all right, well, listen, this high school stuff's fun, but I want to scheme it up and make some money. So he went and became part of Andy Reid's tree, right?
Yeah.
So then,
good tree.
Yeah, and he got to be a head coach in Philadelphia. You know what happened in Philadelphia, of course. He wins a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and who did he beat? Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. Not bad. Nice. Hired by the Jags as a head coach in a roundabout way, but he is the head coach of the Jaguars, and now he's a guy who loves coaching, right? Can't you tell that he's so happy to be back and being with other coaches, and he loves the game planning part of it. You know, he loves the execution part of it. So I'm excited to watch.
He's coming off a year off, so he's refreshed, rejuvenated, and he loves the players, and it really appears like the players love him.
I'm liking the way he's coaching us. Definitely putting accountability on the team leaders and on the team in general. I would say he runs a tight ship while still being a player's coach. But he tells us what he expects and expects us to do that.
Great coach, great leader, and he's won Super Bowls before, so having somebody like that here in the building is also amazing. So we just have been embracing it and listening to him every day and doing what he tells us to do.
You can just feel it, in the building, in the locker room, with the coaches, everything. The positivity, the confidence that people are walking around with, I think that's the main thing.
We're all playing for him too, just like he's coaching for us. We're all on the same team here trying to get as many wins as possible. We're trusting him that he's leading us the right way, and we're going to put our best foot forward.
He could be a huge difference maker this season. While Peterson looks to be the perfect for the organization right now, the hope is he's a perfect match for Trevor Lawrence, the former QB with the current QB. He's had success with quarterbacks pretty much at every level he's been around in their careers. Look at the history of the NFL, and the coach and QB relationship has been a critical part of the winning franchises. It usually goes together, Dan.
Yeah, Peterson has also assembled a staff that has a lot of quarterback experience, right? Guys who played the position. Mike McCoy, my personal favorite. Jim Bob Cooter, because of the name. Press Taylor, too. And now we wait a couple of more days to find out if this relationship will lead to on-the-field success. Brent, year 2 is a big year for any quarterback, and it's proven to be a banner year for some. There's very little doubt Trevor Lawrence will take a step up in year 2. The question is, how big will it be?
The impressive thing is going to your left as a right-handed quarterback is difficult.
The next 17 games are defining for second-year quarterback and first overall pick Trevor Lawrence. Consider the names Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, young guns in the NFL who all took a giant step in year 2.
I really like where I'm at. I think as far as the offense goes, I feel really comfortable, feeling more and more confident each day. And just feel really good with where I'm at with all the receivers, tight ends, running backs, and then protection. I love where we're at. So, I've said it before, it's about getting better every week. So we'll see, where we're at in a few weeks.
Trevor gets a pass for his passing as a rookie. After all, he was the leader of Team Dysfunctional. But Doug Peterson has more than steadied the ship. And if you look at what Carson Wentz did in his second year in Philly, you'll understand what Peterson can bring to Trevor.
One thing I like about Trevor is where he's at, too, is he's still growing. He's still learning. He understands, even when we show him on tape, what he's doing or what he's not doing, and he makes the corrections and moves on. So yeah, I'm encouraged by where he's at right now.
Now with names like Kirk, Etienne, Ingram, and Zay Jones, this offense should be markedly better than one season ago.
Now, look, there's a lot of reasons why the belief in Trevor remains strong. And the main thing is he got 17 games last year with team dysfunction, and now he's in some sort of normal stability type franchise. And so, listen, he's a generational talent. Everybody knows it. Again, the question remains, how big, how fast? Can it happen Sunday?
Can we dream big, and can he play like that guy for the Buffalo Bills on Thursday night?
Man.
Wow, has he turned into a good player in Josh Allen. But there's a lot of confidence in the building. We asked teammates on why there's so much belief in number 16.
What's impressed me the most is probably just the maturity level with him. Just how he's survived a year, as a rookie with everything surrounding him that took place. But you see the maturity, you see the leadership in the locker room.
He's young, but he's really confident, and he can move around the pocket, he can run, he can throw the ball, and he's smart. When different looks come, he kills it to the right look. So to be able to pick apart a defense like that, at year 2 is pretty impressive. So and he's really confident.
You never see him rattle. I feel like that's always a great trait you want in a leader. The sink could be shipping, but he's gonna have that same smile, he's going to carry himself the same way. You could be John, but he's going to carry himself the same way. So I feel like you see that, you're like, okay, we good.
Lawrence was named the captain of the team for a second straight year earlier this week. All right, we just talked about Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence, two biggest people in the organization right now. And so, Dan, I was thinking, you look at this schedule, when's the last time the Jags have had an advantage rolling out the coach and the quarterback every Sunday? Well, I think if you do the tandem, right, definitely against the Commanders. Now,
for sure,
Ron Rivera's a good coach, but I think everybody would take Trevor over Carson Wentz. The Colts, This is an interesting one. I'm not sure you'd say that. I don't know if you'd say that because Herbert's so good here.
Yeah, but you have a very inexperienced coach who was heavily criticized for going for it a lot on fourth down. And you take a look at the Eagles, you got an advantage there. You hope you do. The Texans, you got an advantage. You hope you do. The Giants, you got an advantage. You hope you do. Now, look, there's a lot of great quarterbacks, and we're going to face the whole AFC West, so we got to back down a little.
And some good coaches in there like Andy Reid, of course, and John Harbaugh. So, again, it's not across the board, and sometimes they have the coaching advantage, and maybe other times they have the QB advantage.
We need to get to the end of the season and be able to tell everybody that Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in our division and Doug Peterson is the best coach. And if that happens, good things are going to happen.
That's absolutely right. There's another central figure on this football team. He's the 2022 number 1 overall pick. We take you to Trayvon Walker's hometown. What this kid's all about when we come back. It's just the start of our coverage all fall on the Jags and the NFL for 2022. Welcome back to our NFL preview special. Brent Martineau, Dan Hicken. 3 pillars of this team from a storyline standpoint going into the season. Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence, and I think Trayvon Walker. You like this pick more now, though, after what you've seen a little bit, right?
Yeah, you see him on the field. You see him say,
well, we're about to find out. The Walker pick, along with other additions, have really changed the perception of this defense. Trayvon Walker was destined for the NFL, a big-time athlete from Thomaston, Georgia, just 90 minutes due south of Atlanta. A couple of weeks ago, we had a chance to visit his hometown. When we visited Trayvon Walker's hometown, we learned one thing. They love their hometown hero in Thomaston, Georgia.
Yeah, this is a big deal for this little town. I mean, people are excited about someone, Trayvon, going in the first round of the draft and being able to see a guy that we know personally out on the field every Sunday.
There's a sign when you enter town and another one at the hair salon in downtown Thomaston. We found these on the street he grew up. And these big banners were raised in the center of town just days after he made history in April.
The first overall pick in the 2022 draft, celebrating.
He was always bigger than everybody else, but he always had ball skills. He's always just a special talent. And, you never knew it was going to turn out to be where he's at now. You knew the capability was there, and you knew he could play on Sundays. You just, being first pick of the NFL draft, really special.
Walker's play is loud and larger than life.
And he runs into Travon Walker.
His personality is quiet, and despite the success, he's a humble human being, something that echoes the roots of Thomaston.
That's easy. I mean, a kid of that caliber with the respect of all the teachers and the people in this building, it's easy to rally around. Easy. I mean, it was always yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. All the other side came out when he was on the field.
That's what he's always wanted to do. And, when you get to achieve it and then you really get to live it and it's coming true, he soaks it up. I was fortunate to be with him in Atlanta the night that he got drafted. And he really didn't care about all that. He was just as humble. He was just happy that, people were there. He was happy that people were happy, and they were happy for him.
Trayvon grew up a little outside of town in this house and right next to his grandmother and other family members, all on the same street where a church is the hallmark of home.
He's got great parents, great family around him, a lot of support. So it's been fun watching the whole movie.
Trayvon's job at home was to mow the lawn. All of them. And at times, he would wear a helmet and shoulder pads while mowing to get him in football shape.
Making brought down. That is Walker with the sack.
His destination of landing in the NFL is not a surprise to many. They could see the talent on Friday nights at Upson Lee High School.
He always had that, and then he made a play his senior year. I mean, it's unbelievable one-handed grab that's behind him and just snags it and takes off running down the sideline. And so I was like, that's when I looked at my coach. I said, he's definitely playing on Sundays.
His athleticism showed up on the basketball court too.
Walker, contact, nothing called up and in.
Walker and the Knights won 75 straight games in 2 state championships in hoops.
Big, strong, but yet light on his feet. Great footwork, great anticipation, great hands. He didn't whine or complain when he didn't get the ball. He just went and rebounded. And he blocked shots too as well. So it was nice having him.
State championships and then a national championship for the Georgia Bulldogs. Earlier this year, the town of Thomaston threw Trayvon a parade.
Way to go, Trayvon!
Just another sign of love for the hometown hero, Trayvon from Thomaston.
Well, I like that high school stuff. What makes Trayvon Walker pick exciting is the fact that Josh Allen is on the other side. No doubt this duo has the potential to be one of the best pass rushing tandems in the NFL. Now they have to prove it. Thursday night, Josh and Trayvon were on Jaguars All Access. After the show, Jeff Logman spent some more time with the young standouts on Mike Caldwell's defense.
Here with Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker, and I wish I could still play the game with you guys, that's quite a few years ago. But the one thing that I learned when I was playing the game is that as pass rusher, having a three-way go is so critical. And when I say three-way go, a lot of people may ask the question, what does that mean? Do you guys understand what I'm talking about, the lingo?
Most definitely.
Explain to people what a three-way go is as far as pass rushing.
You can beat them on the edge, you can beat them in the inside, and you can run right through them.
And how important is power to that three-way go, Trayvon, in your game?
Power is one of my main moves that I use, so I just take advantage of it. If they not blocking it, why stop doing it? So I just take it and run with it.
One thing I've watched with you is that you've kind of learned this pretty quickly, is that power is always better when it's on the edges of an offensive player. Is that something that comes natural, or is that something that has been taught?
I definitely have to say it's something that comes natural, but it also takes repetition. For somebody like me, I didn't come in rushing on the edge a lot, so now it's been a big key for me to just stay on half a man. And once I just rush half a man with the power, regardless of whatever he gives me, I can take whatever he gives me.
I love watching film of other pass rushers when I played. You always steal something from them. You stealing anything from him?
He taught me a lingo. Run through your hand, like if you're working on the long arm and you want to place it in and you're looking for power, run through your hand. Run through your hand.
Chase your hand.
And it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like if you put your hand now, run through it. Because it's going to keep that momentum. It's going to keep that power. It's going to keep your hips in line. It's going to keep your arm in there. So ever since he said that, I kind of been getting back on that, getting back on using that long arm, getting back on running through it and staying on it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think we teach a lot. I think we teach a lot of stuff to each other.
Looking forward to watching you guys. Have the best of luck all year long.
Yes,
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Josh Allen will join us every Thursday from Strings Sports Brewery at 7 o'clock for Jaguars All Access. You can be there, and you can watch the show on Fox 30. Josh will usually bring a guest, so hope to see you on Thursday, String Sports Brewery in Springfield. See you next week. Okay, this is primarily a Jags show, Dan, but it's also an NFL show.
Oh, my goodness, the NFL is like a 24-hour reality show. The top storylines, do we have time, of the offseason. Where do we narrow it down? It's coming up next.
On the Jaguars, all the new weapons. Don't forget about Marvin Jones, year 11 for number 11, and he could be a big factor on offense.
I still want to remain humble and just kind of push those guys and not, tell them like it's all about a ring. Like look, I got a ring, but more so just like this is what we can all accomplish.
Well, former Creekside Knight won a world championship last year with the LA Rams. A Super Bowl for Darius Williams playing alongside Jalen Ramsey in the secondary.
Toast!
Williams had a big deal this offseason to return home and play for the Jags and make that group look pretty good on paper, like really good in the secondary. Welcome back to our NFL preview show. Brent and Dan, my goodness, the NFL is a machine when it comes to storylines. It's a reality show almost on a daily basis, even though they haven't played a game, Dan, in more than 6 months.
It's crazy. The calendar year headlines have helped to make it part of our culture and a billion-dollar industry. Not all the storylines, however, are always good.
Deshaun Watson's alleged activity with massage therapists was a part of the news cycle really for 18 months. He settled with more than 20 women and was not found criminally guilty of doing anything. But the NFL eventually levied a suspension that resulted in 11 games with the star QB. Watson hasn't played a real game since 2020 because he sat out last season because he didn't want to play for the Texans anymore. He was traded to Cleveland and signed an unheard of, fully guaranteed deal at $230 million. He's eligible to return to play in November against, you guessed it, another storyline, the Houston Texans.
And this week to open the NFL season, there will be a lot of those revenge game scenarios. None bigger than the Browns playing Baker Mayfield and the Carolina Panthers. Mayfield pushed aside by the Watson move, won the starting job in Carolina, and will play against the Browns in the opener on Sunday. Former Raven Joe Flacco gets the start for the Jets against Baltimore, and Russell Wilson will play at Seattle for the Denver Broncos on Monday night.
Amazing. Those are just a couple of the storylines. Oh, there are so many more. Let's bring in Action Sports Jax Stuart Weber, who ties some of those storylines to the Jaguars' schedule.
All 30 NFL cities are chock full of new storylines as we start off the season with renewed hopes from everybody. LA to Jacksonville. Let's take a look at a few of the storylines involving some Jaguars opponents and start with a superstar in a new situation. Russell Wilson, not only a Denver Bronco now, but he also has a new 5-year extension worth up to $250 million. That's with a B. $165 million of that is guaranteed. Broncos, Jags, London, October the 30th. The following week, Devontae Adams and the Raiders get a second look at the Jags. Of course, they had the Hall of Fame game. Granted, none of the starters saw any action up in Canton. The Adams departure from Green Bay to join his college teammate Derek Carr garnered a lot of headlines in the offseason. Now let's see how that connection works in Las Vegas. For the second straight year, well, the Jags' #1 pick will be judged by a comparison to the #2 pick. In this case, Aiden Hutchinson and the Lions. They will host the Jaguars December 4th. We'll be comparing the two up to that point as both look to get after the quarterback. Speaking of quarterbacks, that 1 versus 2 comparison, round 1 went to Zach Wilson a year ago. Trevor Lawrence gets a chance in round number 2 on the 22nd of December, Jags' only primetime game of the season. Wilson currently sidelined by that preseason injury. Joe Flacco stepping in, but if he gets healthy, we'll have Lawrence v. Wilson take 2 late in the season. That is just some of the headlines around the NFL. We'll see which develop after week 1. In the studio, Stuart Weber, Action Sports Jax.
He's dressed nicer than us. Maybe the biggest storyline of the preseason for the Jaguars was the kicker situation. If the Jags game on Sunday, Dan, comes down to a 45-yard attempt for the win, are you confident that Riley Patterson can win it?
Who?
I know. You're asking who is Riley Patterson. He's the kicker of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags have had a history of good kickers. Mike Hollis, Josh Scobie, Josh Lambo as of late. But, oh, what a mess it's been the last 3 years. 2 years ago, the Jags shuffled all these kickers. Look at them. There's been 13 since 2020 overall. All of this was really trying to replace Josh Lambo, who had had a heck of a run in Jacksonville. They eventually landed on Matthew Wright to get the job done last year, but he struggled with kickoffs.
Yeah, I don't really care about any of these guys because they're not here, but I do care about who's here now, and I am worried. And now in 6 weeks, the Jags have had, yeah, look at this, 6 different kickers. And I know Doug Peterson poo-poos it, but I just hope it ain't 21-19 on Sunday with 3 seconds left and us lining up from the 46.
Do you hope that or not? That's a good question. We don't know how that will turn out. Maybe Trevor can kick. There's something about the last 2 drafts that not a lot of people have brought up. We will tell you the wild tale when we come back and we hang out with both new coordinators of the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up next. Come hang out with Andre Cisco and us on Monday's Jags Report live at Sneakers in Jax Beach. Andre will join us this Monday night at 7 o'clock. Could be a big year for the free safety out of Syracuse. Back on our Action Sports Jax special as we peek into the Jaguars 2022, the 28th season of Jacksonville football. I'm Brett Martin. Oh, he's Dan Hicken. But the name to watch is Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, let's keep it real. Lawrence success equals Jags success. We are desperate and yet confident the Jags and the quarterback will both make that leap starting on Sunday.
You know the numbers from last year, but maybe the most important one is 17, as in games played and started by Lawrence. That's a crash course for a rookie, good or bad, and that experience could be invaluable.
The trust that I have in all the guys around me is really high right now. And like you said, I've learned a lot in the past year, and a lot of bad, some good too, and just things that I've learned from it. I think having that confidence of experience is a thing too. And then obviously having really good players around you helps anyone's confidence.
We go from offense to defense and 2 first overall picks who both hail from the Peach State.
Yes, that is Trevor, and here comes Trayvon right there. How about that?
Nice.
Will he bring in another Peach State alum who's set to brag on his Georgia brothers? Marcel Robinson says Georgia has cranked out 2 gems for the Jags.
Hey, Trevor, congratulations. We're so pumped.
One season ago, the Jacksonville Jaguars picked Trevor Lawrence as their first #1 overall pick in franchise history.
The Patriots have put a 50-burger on the Jaguars.
Due to an abysmal 2021 campaign, the Jaguars made history yet again, becoming the 6th team to pick #1 overall in back-to-back NFL drafts. For the Jags' 2022 pick, they went back to the state of Georgia and chose a player whose origin story began right down the road from the top pick that preceded him.
The Jacksonville Jaguars select Trayvon Walker.
Enter Trayvon Walker, the pride of Thomaston, Georgia.
It is crazy. You know, that's a guy I've seen the last couple of years and kind of had my eye on. Never really thought that we'd end up playing together and to now be on the same team.
We're here in Trayvon Walker's hometown of Thomaston, Georgia, which is only 2 hours from where Trevor Lawrence is from. That'd be Cartersville, Georgia. And because of that close proximity, both of these players were able to build that bond that they have now with the Jacksonville Jaguars long before they became members of the NFL. It started on the recruiting trail.
I knew Trevor coming up through recruiting in high school. He was always one of those guys, 5-star athlete, quarterback that holds out a lot of the passing records in the state of Georgia. Somebody who I looked up to and potentially wanted to be kind of like him in sorts of ways, like wanted to go play college ball.
I mean, I didn't know him well, but I remember we're both from Georgia, so I remember meeting him and would see us kind of follow him, you know, loosely in college, and then to see obviously him come out this year and that team, that Georgia's team last year was so stacked. Now playing together is pretty cool.
Two guys from the same state with an unlikely characteristic in common that served as a bit of a starting block to build a bond for two players entrusted with the successful future of this football team.
But when I first got here, Trevor welcomed me in like he already really knew me just personally. But just coming in on the team, it really meant a lot to me just to see how the organization values him and how they want to value me as well.
Marcel Robinson, Action Sports Jax.
New in 2022, two different coordinators. Press Taylor is that baby-faced offensive guy, just 34 years old, whose family is tied to the sport. Big brother is the head coach at Cincinnati. And Mike Caldwell is the former player-turned-coach guy, a demanding, no-nonsense coach who is molding a pretty potent group on the defensive side of the ball. We sat down with both this week. Press, I heard something in Doug Peterson's introductory news conference in this building that I don't think I've heard before. That he said, listen, I'm going to call the plays, but if I don't feel like it's going well, I'll hand it over. Will he really do that?
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. You know, I got a lot of confidence it's going to go well for Coach. And, you know, it's like Mike said, we're always sitting there. We've all got the game plan. We've worked through the week. We understand what we want to get accomplished in each situation. So, you know, I like to think everybody on the sideline would be able to take over if needed at any point in time. But Coach does a great job with it.
What's a defensive call sound like? Don't give us the first one now against the Commanders, all right?
You can go anywhere from Okie Jam, X Shoot, 51 double rat.
I hope it's effective.
Hopefully it works.
Yours is a lot longer.
It can get a lot longer at times. It depends if you have formations and motions, but you could F short to time bunch. You could go 63, well, F show biz white chief, kill it versus zone to 63 white fish or something like that. Like, it sounds expansive, but you're talking to a lot of guys and telling a lot of guys what to do.
So in the huddle, are guys on the offensive side just listening to their key?
Pretty much. I mean, you hope that they take it next level and they know the big picture of everything that's going on and how this thing plays out. But really, there's usually a couple of words that talk to each guy that they really need.
How about you, Mike? How does that work on defense?
It's the same way. You have trigger words and words that mean something to you, and then something that doesn't mean anything to you, try to block it out.
This is a high-pressure job, obviously, day in, day out. Knuckleheads like us talk about it, break it down, even if we don't know what we're talking about. Do you guys have fun?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is, we've all chosen this because we love this game, and we just wanted to continue to be a part of it. So, you know, Doug's built a staff here that the guys really enjoy getting along together, offense, defense, special teams, all of it. Everybody likes hanging out together, and we're doing what we love to do.
I say the same thing. It's a job that you grown up enjoying all your life. You're just out there and you love coming to work to be able to influence the younger guys. And, you know, we sit in meetings sometimes and it's not always football. We can talk about the topic of the day.
Playing's still more fun.
Oh yeah, always, always. Now, waking up Monday morning, probably not, but, you know, every now and then you get the urge that, dang, I wish I had one more time. Yeah, but this is the next best thing to it.
6'2" stack monster. That's what I would run. The running back room for the Jags is fascinating, right? Travis and Etienne debut on Sunday. What others the country are saying about that duo. That's coming up next.
A lot of confidence in number 16 going into the season. That running game for Etienne and Robinson could really help Trevor.
I think the Jags are going to go back to what we had when I was there. It was myself, Fred Taylor, Greg Jones, Brennan Tofield. Earlier in my career, we had multiple guys that can come in and make plays, and obviously myself and Fred being the kind of the two-headed monster there. Let's remember, Doug Peterson loves to run the football. So if you can have a running game, if you can get a running game going, it's going to help your young quarterback and those receivers and all the pieces they put around them.
Maurice Jones-Drew on the Jaguars running back situation earlier this week with Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Mojo going to join us every Monday in the 3 o'clock hour on ESPN 690. Rasheed Mathis, by the way, at 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Check out ESPN 690 on Mondays. You just stay in your own little world over there. Welcome back to our NFL special. Let's talk about the Jaguars running backs. The floor of this group would be bad news, Dan. The floor I'm talking. They don't return from injuries very well, to significant injuries. We don't want to see that.
But the ceiling. The ceiling of this group might be one of the most dangerous tandems in the AFC. And we already know the South, man, oh man, are they full of good running backs.
You know the story by now. Travis Etienne picked 25 over a couple of years ago, but missed all of last season with that Liz Frank injury. He hasn't missed any time this year. Looked sharp in the preseason. James Robinson has been awesome for the Jags for 2 years, but a late season Achilles injury put his offseason into rehab mode. He's ready to play and will be out there on Sunday in Washington.
Yeah, I mean, if I had limitations, I wouldn't be out there. So, I mean, like I said, I feel good and I go out there to be me again. So, I mean, I feel like I've been ready since like the last couple of weeks of training camp. But like I said, I'm ready.
I've been here a long time working to get to this point. I feel like, why be nervous now? I mean, I put all the work in, so just trust my preparation. And y'all see us here every day, so I mean, like, I feel like it's going to just be natural now. Just let it happen.
Well, how will Doug Peterson use the backs? A burning question going into the season. I had a chance to catch up with Robert Smith, former NFL running back. He will be on the call of the game on Fox 30 this weekend. He likes the Jags tandem.
I definitely think that it's a tandem that's shaping up to be absolutely tremendous. You know, you look at James Robinson, more of the banger type guy, but Travis Etienne, not just the ability to run off tackle, not that he can't run up inside, but I think what he can do catching the ball as well. And I think that is a tremendous addition. You know, when you combine that, having Evan Ingram as that tight end, and then you have that solid run game, but also the ability to have a running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield. It's a quarterback's best friend. And when you're facing a defensive line like Washington, that's as stout as they are, that's as aggressive as they are, that get after the quarterback the way that they do, it's so helpful to have those types of weapons at the quarterback's disposal.
We will be in Washington with the Jags. 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox 30. Don't forget, though, countdown to kickoff 11:30 on CBS 47. The postgame show on Facebook. It's a Jags Sunday with Action Sports Jax.
Catch it. Good job, Marv. Good job. That's the way to get backside. Good job. As an offense.
Inside the game and onto the practice field. Jaguars.com helps us take you closer to football when we come back.
Marcel Robinson with a good shot of Trevor Lawrence here. The year 2 bump starts Sunday.
They are Duval till we die, a hardened fan base that doesn't like when you talk badly about their team, especially on social media. They are a Jag fan, and they are hungry, starving for a winner.
Are you talking from experience or for the national guys don't say anything bad about the Jags?
I think both. I think they'll come right at us if we do too.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome back to our NFL preview show. Brent and Dan taking you closer to the game. Has never been better in the NFL. More cameras, more shows, more microphones.
Yeah, Jaguars.com helps us give you an inside look at the team in training camp.
That first loop came back around like, man, somebody turned some heat on or something.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Trent Bockey. Wave to the cameras.
Buster, if you was mic'd up, what would you do?
Turn up.
Turn up? All right.
Let's go, baby. That's right.
Needs to touch the bag.
Bet. I'm finna whoop him. Stop playing with me! Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm whooping him.
Detail it up. Good.
You start to match it all the way, like, cause you ain't got no other work. Oh, Lord. Bro, come on, man. Come on, man.
Tap somebody in another jersey. Good work, man. Good work.
A lot of good work going on. More of that coverage with our partners on Jaguars.com and their team on game days and every day on Jags.com.
We know Duval knows how to party, and now they can do it while also giving back to some of those in our area who need it the most. For more, let's bring in Action Sports Jax Olivia Tasley, who shows us a new way to grab a drink for a cause.
Most football fans can agree. One of the big components to Sunday Fun Day is having your favorite drink in your hand. This year, though, there's a new way to drink up and give back in less than an NFL timeout. It only takes a matter of seconds to fill a cup, but these drinks will have a lasting impact.
All I can say to that is cheers.
For the second year in a row, Tended Bar is setting up shop inside TIAA Bank Field. The automated bar serves up your favorite drink on the rocks in less than 30 seconds. This year, though, they're adding a twist for charity.
When we looked at it and said, hey, a tipping feature is something you're used to doing in this application. So we said, hey, let's use that same tip and give back to the community. The Morris made perfect sense. I mean, it's children's health, it's impacting the community every day, and they're expanding all across the nation. And that was really what we saw is like, hey, as we try to expand, let's bring somebody with us that impacts everywhere.
It's not unheard of for people to grab a drink for a cause, but I had to know what made this cocktail such a good mix.
Really, the partnership kind of stemmed from how can we really give back. We're local in Jacksonville. We started here. Our first venues have been here. And really the partnership with the Morris was really spurned off of that, is what can we do?
We couldn't do what we do without community partnerships. They're so important to us. We were started by a family who cared about the community and cared about kids. And that tradition has continued today. So if we didn't have partnerships with like we do with Tended Bar, we wouldn't be able to extend our services as far, have as many services, or really embark on new and visionary things that kids need.
As Tended Bar continues to expand their business, the Tending to Health gratuity program is going to go far beyond the gates of TIAA Bank Field. This program will be carried out nationwide at events without a pre-selected charitable beneficiary. That means if you see a Tended Bar at your next concert, golf tournament, or even at an away game, you can still grab a drink for a cause. For Action Sports Jax, I'm Olivia Tasley.
We want your best Duval. It's part of an in-season giveaway where you can win a prize pack valued at more than $2,000, Dan. It starts in a couple of weeks, but you can start sending your best Duval now. It's the Farrah Fan Zone Home Tailgate Challenge, a new grill, some gear, a projection screen, and a $500 Publix gift card. Enter today, enter now, actionnewsjax.com. And our first winner will be leading up to the Jags road game against the Chargers.
There were some position battles decided in training camp. How it all shook out, that's coming up next.
Some of the new weapons on offense will be fun to watch. Evan Ingram could have a huge year in Doug Peterson's tight end friendly offense. We're about to find out this weekend. All right, it's season prediction time. Who's in the Sunshine and Rainbows Club
Nobody.
with me?
Nobody.
Amazing. Nobody went
Not
off.
a dadgum optimist of the lot.
To be honest with you, Dan, 7 wins would be pretty optimistic.
Would it?
I think so.
Why not 8 or 9? Give me 9 and 8.
I honestly feel like the ceiling for this team is probably 8. I think you're nuts if you think 9. I don't know what you would base that on. I think 5 is a given. I think 6 is the most likely. And I think the difference between 6 and 7 is massive.
I'll base it on Travon Walker being the defensive rookie of the year, Josh Allen returning to form, the linebacker core being fast and nasty, an improved defensive backfield, a shutdown defense, and then an offense that jumps up with Trevor Lawrence. If all that happens, why not? Now,
why did you pick up 7 and 10?
Because I don't think it will.
My gosh, you would have been great for my Sunshine and Rainbows campaign. Hey, let's take a look at a couple of other reasons the Jags, you don't know which way to go on, right? The offensive line's remade. Rookie at center, placing a good center in Brandon Linder.
Yeah.
Ben Barch now gets a start at guard, and one of those camp battles, Jawan Taylor holds off Walker Little.
Yeah, great job by Jawan Taylor, and interesting how it all pans out, but he'll get the first go at right tackle, and we'll see how he plays.
They do have a stud at right guard now. Brandon Sheriff is
Run right.
Very good.
Right.
All right. How about a remade linebacking unit? I don't know if I've seen this before, at least here in Jacksonville. $15 million for their star guy in Aluakin. And then they go invest a first-round pick, which they traded up for, Dan, and then they third-round pick in Muma. So Lloyd and Muma. Remade linebacking room.
And just real quick, by the way they shaped their entire roster, it's clear to them how important the linebackers and / special teams are.
Well, Mike Caldwell was a linebacker.
Yeah, sure.
And they were good when they won the Super Bowl in Tampa at the linebacker position, right? Well, hey, that's going to do it. Enjoy the football season. It's off and running. We'll be with the Jags, of course, in D.C. against the Commanders and have all the coverage on Sunday. We call it a Jags Sunday. From early in the morning at 10:30 all the way till midnight, we've got you covered. Hope you have a fantastic football season for our entire crew. We'll see you at the bank in a week, right?
Oh, yeah.
Colts. We own the Colts.
We own the Colts. Get a win against Washington. We're 2-0 and off to the races.
Oh, that would be a heck of a start. I tell you, I've never seen you so positive, Dan. I like this a lot. What a way to go into the weekend.
Check back Monday.
Have a good night, everybody.
For watching the Action Sports Jax Jaguars Preview Special, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. On game day, all of Duval knows where to go for all things Jags.
CBS 47 and Fox 30, your official
station of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Come on, you see the logo. We official, babe.
Exclusive interviews.
From the studio to the sideline. Now that's official.
And in the locker rooms.
Yep, we're that official.
Join the official station of your Jaguars for Countdown to Kickoff. Sunday at 11:30 on CBS 47. Brought to you by your local Ford dealers.